Welcome back, crafty creators and budget babes. My name is Nadia, and we are here to work on our bi-weekly budget together. So let's get started. So we're going to be doing budgets today. So get out your budget so that we can work together. Okay. As you all know, I like to use the ultimate monthly budget by Budgetly. It works out really well for me. And the first thing that I have to do is I have to start with my income, which will go over here on this left small table. And then from there, I put in my bills. I work on a bi-weekly budget, so that means that I put in my bills every 2 weeks because I get paid every 2 weeks. So either the day before or the day after I get paid, I will put in my information to make sure that everybody gets the money that they're supposed to get and I'm not winding up late on anything. I also have a spending summary for flexible spending. I can budget a certain amount, which I always do, but as I travel through the month and engage in the spending, I put it in the expense tracker here and it auto flows into the actual line so I can see whether or not I'm able to stay within budget. The way I'm helping myself stay in budget is by taking out a portion of this money in actual cash, and then I cash budget it in my cash envelope. There are just a couple of things that I kind of keep in the checking account because it just makes it easier. Like buying gas for me is easier. And then sometimes I may have already done the grocery shopping before I make this recording like I did this time. But we'll get around to that. Okay, so the first thing I have to do is I have to start with my income. I have my income split into a number of different locales. So I have some money that automatically comes out, which is not shown on this screen. And then I have some that goes into my first account. So in this 2-week pay period, I'm expecting $17.64 to go into this account. That's a percentage of my total salary, and that is actually what appeared. And then I send to this account because this is the account that I like to pay tuition out of. And my stash account, that's just a little extra hiding space for money, a way of savings. And then my husband will hand me some cash, which I often love. And then I actually have another little side hustle that on this particular pay period, I am going to get some dollars from. So I have now tallied up what I've made in this 2-week period, or at least the income summary. I love this Budgetly sheet because I don't have to do any math. So there are some people who enjoy doing the math and getting a little calculator out. And sometimes I do have to pull out a calculator, but rarely. Like this whole sheet auto calculates all of my sums, which is why I love it so much. So I can see that my current income is here and I haven't spent anything yet. And so I have all of it left to spend, right? Okay. So the second thing I do is I put in what are my known bills for the month, right? So for me, I know that my pulse power is going to come in at $542.15. Y'all, is anybody else dying with your electric bill? Comment, because I swear I know I'm not alone. The summertime in Texas is hot. So yes, we run the AC, but dag, I thought I was getting a savings. And initially I was like, I signed up for this company, you know, and things were going good. And then the summertime hit and things just got out of hand. So yes, my bill that was $250 is now twice that plus, but you know what? I'm moving on with my life. That's going to come out of my account automatically. And when it does, I will put in here that it has been paid and I'll give a little checkbox. I don't have to worry about my wireless bill. It's not. I just changed wireless providers. So actually this due date is going to change for me. So I am going to move that at some point, probably the next time it's due. So we'll skip over that. Citibank only wants 41 bucks. And because I am in making an effort to pay down debt on another card, I only pay a little bit over. So I have, as you see, I have a check mark here. I already paid them yesterday 50 bucks. So they got their dollars. Discover, they want 570. We aren't even going to talk about how much I owe them right now. That's a whole nother video. But what I will say is that I am focusing on this Discover card as my my primary debt pay down. So they asked for 570, but I sent them 836.36. And if the number looks weird, it's because with Discover, you can earn cash back And while I had intentions on giving them $8.50, the amount that I had in cash back, I just applied it to the card. So that reduced the amount that had to come out of my bank account to get to the total $8.50. So anyway, $836.36 is what I paid out of my checking account. And I did pay them yesterday. They got their dollars. Hurts my heart, but it didn't hurt my heart to spend it, so it better not hurt my heart to pay it back. So that's how I'm trying to look at it. So I went on ahead, and they are my primary focus for my debt pay down. I pay them well more than the minimum amount because I am trying to get rid of them. Okay. Now, Prime Video is going to come out, and I'm always writing what's due in my due line. And once it's paid, again, I put it in the paid, and I put a little checkbox. So Prime Video is going to be $16.99. Internet, I don't have to worry about. My husband will take care of that. Canva is going to cost me $12.99 for my Canva subscription, which I love. ANA membership is going to be $15. Atmos Energy, again, hubby takes care of that. Zoom, $16. Yes, Zoom is costing me $16. Ready Refresh is going to come out probably on the 8th, if not the 9th. So $76 is what's going to be due. NTTA is not going to come out because I haven't really used my toll tag this month at all, really. I haven't gone anywhere where I needed to do that. And I do have money already available, so they shouldn't be charging me anything. So now for the lawn care, you know what? I probably do need to go ahead and put $40 in because bruh needs to come back. I told him no last week, but I was outside just yesterday and that lawn is looking a little trash. So yes, he needs to come back. So I'm going to put $40 aside for that. The dog, $62 every month for that. Now, I'm going to stop here because the 11th is on Wednesday and the next time I will get paid again will be the 13th. So I will cover anything after, anything the 13th or later will get covered with the next paycheck. So I can stop. Those are the bills that I'm going to pay. And look, this is my grand total for how much my bills are going to cost me for this 2-week period. Pretty large, I know, because Pulse Power is whoa, and Discover, whoa, but I'm okay. Because if I go over to this section, this gives me a budget summary. It automatically moves my total income to here for income, my spending out of this particular account, and moves it here and does the math of the difference between the two and tells me that this is how much money I have remaining. Now, in all actuality, when I go on my account, I actually have this much remaining. Why? Because I've only spent out these 2 bills, right? So I like it because as I go through, eventually this catches up. But I have the foresight now to know that I really only have this much left to spend. Why is that important? Because now I'm about to go to my flexible bills. And the flexible bill is this salmon area over here. I'll move it a little more center. This salmon area here shows me my cash and debit. So I will use my debit card for certain things, like for groceries. So I will allot myself for 2 weeks, $180 for groceries, because I know that halal meat, I'm getting ready to go buy a bunch of chicken and some beef to have in my freezer, and that's gonna last me a good 2 or 3 months, which is why, guys, my grocery bill really isn't that high. Some weeks, if I spend $100, you know, in 2 weeks, that's a lot because I mostly buy my fresh veggies, but I buy meat in bulk in advance. And I know what I spent yesterday when I went and got it. When I had the cash, I'm basically working this budget to show you guys how it's real. $178, and we'll put that down on our spending and you'll see how it looks when it hits the actual. So we have $180 for groceries. I'm gonna give myself $30, oops, not $320, $30 for dining out, $70 for my pocket because I deserve it, $80 for gas, and $30 for, like, you know, if I need to buy stuff for the house, like cleaning supplies or something like that. $30 for healthcare. That's for like co-pays. Dang, I gotta remember to get a new card because I do have a health savings card and I should not have to come out of my pocket. Personal care, I'll cover that under just for me. I don't have any, like, I'm not getting my nails done or anything this week. No toes done. Charity, I always put at least $25 aside in case I want to give a little dollars to someone who's doing a fundraiser. We automatically give to our masjid, our faith-based institution, every month. So that automatically is going to come out at the end of the month. You'll see that later. Pets, gotta buy dog food. So I put $40 aside for that. And that's probably a little more than I need, but just in case. Might need, like last week, my daughter came to me and was like, he needs a new collar. So that was $20, but I still had $20 left over to buy food. So $40 is a good amount to set aside for him. And entertainment, maybe $30 if my husband and I want to go to the movies or go bowling or something. And of this money on the side, I always have to set aside $800 toward tuition, because another $800 will come out in another 2 weeks, and then I'll have the full tuition before its due date. So by the 13th, I'll have $1,600 put aside. Tuition is about $1,400. So I actually wound up with like a little bit of an overflow. My goal with that overflow is to be my safety dollars in case an emergency comes up and I need another $200. Plus I have a side account. Like I told you, what you're seeing on my income side is after that money goes to what I'll call my cushion account. Okay. All right. And I don't have to worry about waters or anything like that. I do want to mention my Capital One. So while I am focusing on Discover as my primary debt pay down, I know if I go over my max on my Cap One, I need to do something about that. So I did go over a little bit. So I'm going to shoot $200 at them to go. I didn't go 200 over. I went like $6, $7 over. And so I'm just going to give them $200. This way I don't come anywhere near the max on that account, and I'm back under. So I am going to give them $200 if I can. So let's see if the numbers say that I can. And look, here we are. So we have spent $1,515 in our flexible spending. Of that flexible spending, $515 is like what I would assume to be going into my cash envelopes. I would go to the bank and I get $515. I'll be honest with you though, I don't like putting my gas in cash, because when I go, I want to just pull up to the pump, you know, scan my card and pump my gas. So I don't pull this $80 out. So I'm going to list it as actually already spent, so I don't go take that out in cash. And then these groceries, I did spend $178 already. So let's go down here and put those as expenses that we have already covered. This Capital One has already gone through. I know I did that right before I logged in to do this recording. Groceries, and then I'm going to say gas. So let's go here under our expense tracker. So we're going to say 110 as our date. And then the amount for, let's say gas was, we said $80. So that'll automatically stay in the account, so to speak, as spent. And then groceries, 110, 178 was spent on groceries. And we did the $200 payment earlier today. And so we're going to say 200, and we're going to say Cap One over max. There we go. Now we're cooking. So you can see that from the cash items, I've spent out, oh, why didn't that go? What did I not do right? 178 groceries. This is supposed to show here. Oh, my formula's not in there. Sometimes that will happen. I will accidentally delete it, but I just go into this corner, see where the dot is, get the crosshairs, and drag it up to make sure that the formula that's here, that should be all the way down here, is in this cell. For those of you who are familiar with Excel, I'm sure that made a lot of sense. For those of you who aren't, that's a teachable moment. Sometimes if you purchase a spreadsheet like this, it has all these automatic formulas in certain spots. This particular column is one that the maker will tell you do not touch, do not modify. If you happen to accidentally modify one cell, it's okay. Just go to the cell that does have the formula, go to the dot, drag up, and it will replace that formula in there. So now you can see the 178 that I wrote here under the category groceries is here. Another thing I like about this particular spreadsheet is I can add or take away these titles of the different areas that I'm spending, and it will automatically appear in the list on the drop down. So those are editable, or you can go up here and click edit, and then it will appear here as well, just so that you know in case this is one that you like, or I don't know, if you purchase it. I also like that it does this cool thing. It shows me where my spending has been for my expenses. Again, this salmon is my spending. And so it gives me a cash breakdown. So now here's what I'm interested in doing. I'm interested in seeing if I say that this money I don't need to get out in cash and this money I don't need to get out in cash. Well, how much do I need to get out in cash, right? It would be this, I'm just highlighting. And automatically over here in the corner, it tells me the sum of all of these things. Love it, love it, love it. $255 in cash. And guess what? That's what I have. So let's move on. We are going to go over here, just double check. What do we have left? Ooh, y'all, look. Okay, so I see an error. There's no way I'm supposed to have $356 available. So I've made a mistake somewhere, and I know exactly where it is. Here, where I put in my budgeted or due amount for Discover, that's the minimum that they were asking for. But I know I meant to pay them more, so I have to write here what I planned to pay them, not just what they asked for in the minimum amount. So my plan was to pay them $836.36, and then I paid them $836.36. So now the new math shows that I have $90. Okay, that's more reasonable. $90 left. And my intention, because we're dealing with just like 90 bucks, I may take that $90 because I want to get down to zero. Like, I don't want to have any money left. This is a zero-based budget. I want to allocate the rest of those dollars to probably my credit card. Probably I'll send it to Discover and give them another 100. But I'll do that on a separate note. But for right now, I know I have $90. Either I can call it cushion and not touch it and just leave it in the account, or I can put it toward one of my sinking funds. And I do have a space on this chart here over on the right for sinking funds. Hold on, I'll scooch it over. So see that? This is where I would add in what my goal for this particular pay period would be to put aside. So I'm glad I caught that, because I know that I like to kind of spend all the money and get down to zero and just live off of the cash amount that I say I need to have, which is going to be $255. And then I put that $255 in my wallet, and I live off of that for 2 weeks. So because I now see I do have 90 bucks available, I'm very likely going to send another payment to Discover, because if I don't send it to Discover, then I'll send it to another one of these credit cards, because I'm serious about getting out of debt. I'll do that before I do savings in most cases. So it depends. Like, if I know that I had a savings goal and I'm around the corner from it and I can hit it real quick, then I'll take that extra money, I'll put it there. But if not, then I'm all about beating down the debt. Okay. So what I want for you to do is come back and we can do the cash stuffing together in a part 2. So like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.